Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Edu TV, your educative and entertaining program on the Plateau. I am Mary Bulus. Today we'll be looking at the educational sector as regarding the strike. It is a burning issue now on the Plateau, as ASU are currently on strike. So I will be introducing my guest, who will be looking into the discussion and trying to profile a possible solution. With me in the studio are
Ms. Zinkat Maguladi,
Ms. Hope Daini Davo.
As we all know, education in Nigeria today is a thing of dismay, and currently our students are actually at home. The federal government has already reiterated its commitment towards the renegotiation of lecturers in the educational sectors across the country. So our guest, please, can you tell us what is happening in Nigeria and its educational sector?
Okay, good morning, our listeners, also our lovely entertainers. We are grateful for another great opportunity like this to produce this entertaining program to you. Today we are discussing the educational standard in this present administration. According to the strike going on with the ASU, the unions of the tertiary institution, we will be looking at how students have been at home due to the strike, and all this is because of the government are not compiling with the ASU. And we want all the students and also the lecturers to know that strike is not the only option to close down the institutions. If we can look into other things and to know the value of education, we should find other means, not just to go on strike, because this strike is really causing our students to be at home, engaging themselves into all sorts of things that they are not well.
So, Ms. Hope, can you now tell us that if the strike is the ongoing strike now in our educational sector, can we say is due to lack of proper funding and structures?
Thank you very much, presenter. Yes, we will say that strike right now that is ongoing is lack of proper funding and structures in our institutions also contribute to these strikes, because if there are proper funding, our lecturers will be paid on time, so they will not have to go around with carrying on with strikes to be able to get the attention of the government. And talking about structures, we can say that, as we can see today in our institutions, there are no well managed structures. Our structures are lagging behind, so we can actually say that these are also causes of strike actions in our institutions today.
So the viewers, you've heard from our guests. We'll now go outside to get more views on this topic, the educational standards in Nigeria. Now we are out seeking the opinions of people on what they feel about the educational standards in Nigeria. With me here is
Mark Plan Peter.
So, Miss, please, what can you tell us about the educational standards in this present administration?
Okay, our educational standard in this present administration, I think the education is very poor. And you checking out in our society, you find out millions of people are illiterate, and then there are non-educated people around. So our government needs to do something about it.
Thank you, Ms. Maplan, for your opinion.
You're welcome.
I'm Mrs. Justina Ganboy-Choji.
Today we are discussing about the educational standards in Nigeria. Please, ma, what can you tell us that lack of proper education is the root cause of terrorism, cultism, crisis, and kidnapping in Nigeria?
Well, I would say yes, because when the people are well educated, they will not indulge in all these things, because we have rich people that are well educated, but you see them, they are the ones sponsoring all those people, because if you are educated, you will not accept money because of for you to commit something that is not good. But when you are educated and then you have also the fear of God in you, you will not indulge in all such.
Thank you, Miss Justina, for your point of view. With me also we have Miss
Grace Lenka.
So Miss Grace Lenka, please can you tell us why the politicians prefer to send their children abroad for education rather than schooling in our own society?
Yeah, it's because of low educational facilities. You know, because of this strike, they won't even allow their students, their children to stay here in school, and they can't meet up with the lecturers' demand. That's why they prefer to send their children abroad instead of schooling here in Nigeria.
Veronica Innocent.
Miss Veronica, please can you tell us, is strike the only means through which the government gets to hear the attentions or gets to listen to the lecturers?
No, strike is not the only means for now, because presently students are on strike and it's not helping matters, because after the strike they are still at home doing nothing. But if our lecturers can create a forum and the well-equipped leaders can be paying them their salaries, we can say it will help a lot in the students, not in the lecturers not going for a strike, and the students will be able to learn.
Styling favor.
Miss Stalin, please can you tell us, is there other means through which the bodies of the institution can create another forum instead of going on strike?
Actually, yes, there is. If only the lecturers can come together to create a forum for the students to come together, instead of students being at home doing nothing, jumping from one place to another, let the lecturers just create a forum for the students to come together. At least just let them come for reading. Instead of being at home doing nothing, going from one place to another, let us come together and read. Because the strike seriously is not helping matters. I won't say for now we should go out and protest. Never. It will not happen. Instead of you going out for protest, instead of you to protest for the government to help the matter, instead of worsening the matter by sending the military to bring this, instead of the military to bring it down, they'll increase the matter. So for now, the strike, let the lecturer just do something about it. That is all.
Thank you, Ms. Stalin, for your opinion.
Ezekiel Emmanuel.
Okay, Mr. Ezekiel, please, what can you prefer as the possible solution to the educational standards in Nigeria?
For my own idea, the lasting solution to all this educational sector problem is Nigeria have to provide a free education. Nigeria have to provide more funding in the educational sector. We have to have a quality and affordable education in Nigeria, and also we have to give the educational sector their freedom. So for me, this is the lasting solution. If Nigeria can look into this and have that, I think that could bring an end to all this problem in the educational sector.
Welcome back. So as we've all heard, the educational standards in Nigeria is very poor, and government needs to do more than just giving out funds to structure the buildings and all that. So our guest, could you in 1 minute conclude your point?
Okay. If the government will find a lasting solution to this strike going on in the country by trying to meet to the demand of the ASUs, then we'll be grateful.
Thank you, my guest, for your time. We hope to see you next on the program. I am Mary Bulus.
I am Zinkat Maguladi.
And I am Hope Dani.
Bye-bye.
Good morning, listeners of Foundation Rock 98.9 FM Plateau, one of the best campus radios in Nigeria. Welcome to the program Societal Issues. Okay, welcome to the program Societal Issues. Today's topic of discussion is about child trafficking, one of the disturbing topic that is disturbing Nigeria, Africa, and the whole world. We will go on short break. Stay tuned. Today's topic of discussion, we'll be talking about child trafficking, one of the major issues that is disturbing Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. And here with me, I have some important guests. Please, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Okay, good morning, listeners. I am by name Nyamre Hilaigyang from the Plateau State Polytechnic, Jos Campus, a mass communication student. Thank you.
Good morning, listeners and viewers. I'm by name Juliana Moses Dung, a mass communication student of Plateau State Polytechnic and a D2 student.
Good morning, listeners. I'm by name Inyan Peter Richard from Mass Comm Department.
Okay, thanks for coming on the show. Can we talk about, there's a lot of misinformation about child trafficking. Please, can you tell our viewer what child trafficking means?
Well, I think in my own perspectives, child trafficking could be seen as the action or practice of illegal procuring and relocating of children, typically for the purposes of forced labor or sexual exploitation. So it's a way of forcing children in doing what they don't want to do, forcing them to embark or involved in such practices that they are not willing to do or to.
Okay, so at what age do you think they are more involved in child trafficking? From what age to?
Well, I think the ages that are vulnerable to such practices or acts, I could say from the ages of 2 to 17.
Okay, all right. So, Rahila, what are the causes of, or the major causes of child trafficking in Nigeria and within our society? The major causes.
Okay, thank you so much for this wonderful question. We have so many causes of child trafficking. Poverty is one of the major causes, and we also have lack of education, and then demand for cheap labor, and then we have there are so many of them. Yes.
Okay, so it's
lack of education in terms of you see students, a parent will try his possible best to make sure the sponsor their children to school, and then in the other way around, you see a student will not go attend lectures, will not be going to school. You see, just something like that. So
okay, so what role do you think our schools can play? The government, the society, the parents, what role can they play to prevent child trafficking?
Okay, the school should try their possible best to make sure the lecture the students.
Okay, to orientate the students.
They should put in their possible best to make sure the educate. They put more wisdom and knowledge. They should give them what they are capable of doing to sponsor them, and then to.
Okay. What are the preventive measures of child trafficking?
I think the preventive of child trafficking. I think let's go to the side of studies, education.
Okay.
The school must know the rights of the students. Whether lectures are going on, then lectures or the safety of the students in school. How the students associate yourself together in order to sit, read, and organize yourself. in the side of education and studies, and to study very hard.
Okay, so do you think bad environment contribute in child trafficking?
Yes, bad environment contributes in child trafficking. Let's say maybe students might say, maybe my friend is
relating with bad
yes, relating with bad friends, poor environment, and drug addiction.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Juliana, do we have any groups in Nigeria or under government that are in charge of child trafficking in regard to penalties? Do we have any agencies?
Yes, we have government agencies, and we also have the non-governmental
like
organizations.
NGOs.
Yes, the NGOs.
Okay. So what are the penalties, of child trafficking?
Well, it is stated that those involved in such acts or crimes, or those persons who are engaged in trading and dealing with children in the negative way, including both the limited to the act of buying and selling of children for money or for any other consideration, or for barter, shall suffer the penalties of reclusion and temporal to perpetual. The law also prescribes the penalties for traffickers. It stated that those for labor trafficking will go for 5 years imprisonment.
Okay, thanks for coming on this show, Societal Issues. I'm your host, Ezekiel Gosan. We appreciate our producer, our studio manager, and all our viewers. Thanks for having us. See you next.
Thank you. Good morning, viewer. Oh, what a beautiful morning. And we are on to Foundation Rock TV, Plateau State Polytechnic, Just Campus. Today is Thursday, April 28, 2022. My name is Rifkat Marcus, and I'm not alone here in the studio. I'm together with some guests, and I will love them introduce themselves. And I'll start by my right.
I'm by name Jonathan Blessing.
Muhammad Buhari by name.
I'm by name Tina Nira Joshua.
I'm Ahinche Jonah Daniel.
Okay, welcome to this wonderful and interesting program, and the topic here is the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. I will go further to tell us what causes the fight between Ukraine and Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine on 24th February 2014. The Russo-Ukrainian War is an ongoing war between Russia together with pro-Russian separatist forces and Ukraine. It began in February 2014 following the Ukrainian Revolution of Dignity, and initially focused on the status of Crimea and part of the Donbass, internationally recognized as part of the Ukraine. So before we go further, I would like to ask my guests some questions, and I will start with Mr. Daniel. Mr. Daniel, why did you think Ukraine and Russia are fighting?
Okay, thank you for having me in the studio with you today, Ms. Rifkatu. I think Russia and Ukraine are fighting today. It was because of freedom, because the fight started since some years back, 2014, and up to now they're still on it, because Russia is trying to capture Ukraine, or rule Ukraine back again. Let's take for an instance. Just like in Nigeria, we are colonized by British. And how will it be for British to come into Nigeria and say they want to rule us again? It won't be possible. So that is what is trying to happen. Russia, they were the colonial masters of Ukraine, and they are not trying to overrule or rule the country back again. And that is what causes the fight between Russia and the Ukraine. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. And I'll go further to ask Tina. Tina, what part of Ukraine is controlled by Russia?
Thank you, ma, for giving me this opportunity to answer this question. Russia and its produce now control around 90% Lumbax, and more than half of the docks, the old and industrial industrial outlets and Ukraine.
Okay, thank you very much for your opinion. And I'll go further to ask Mr. Mohammed. Mr. Mohammed, where are the Russian troops now?
Thank you, Mrs. Rikatu, for giving me this opportunity to answer this question. Now, Russia attack now focusing on the east of the country, that means Ukraine. The war in Ukraine has entered a new phase. Responses in the rest of the world range from hesitancy in Germany. Russia target full control of South. The fourth city of Mariupol, which has been encircled since the start of March, is now mostly under the control of Russia. First, although several hundred Ukrainian troops remain in the Azovstal metal works factory in the south of the city.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. And Blessing, Miss Blessing, I want to ask you, what did you think Russia take from Ukraine?
Thank you, Ma, for giving me this opportunity to answer this question. In February and March 2014, Russia subsequently announced the Crimea Peninsula from the Ukraine. The event took place after March, the Revolution of Dignity, and this is the part of the Russia-Ukraine war.
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. That's what we have for today, and I still remain your anchor, Rifkat Morupus. Thank you for being here with us in the studio. Do have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, viewer. It is a beautiful day this morning. You are welcome to Foundation Rock TV, Plateau State Polytechnic, Jos Campus. My name is Ushat Emosgoy, the host of this program titled Indecent Dressing. I am not alone in the studio. With me, I have Mrs. Angela Eze, Zonal Director, Women for Women Initiative, Ms. Ukungo Matek, Public Commentator, Ms. Hanatu Sunday, Center for Youth Advocacy, and Mr. Dogonanzim, Youth Activist. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Recently, the issue of high indecent dress is becoming more rampant and alarming in Nigeria, to the extent that even in the place of worship, young people try to dress indecently. The rate of indecent dressing among youths in Nigeria, particular students, is becoming a national issue that has called for consent of our leaders, both religious and political leaders. It is common among celebrities, particularly among artists. This set of people, while on stage, will want to look unique and in the process turn themselves into lunatic. There is hardly any higher institution of learning in this country that is not faced with this problem. The way students on this campus of learning, particularly the female ones, dress seductively leaves much to be desired. What the girls call skirts that they wear is just 1 inch longer than their pants. When they put on such dresses, they struggle to sit down, find difficulty in climbing machines, cross gutters, as well as pick anything from the ground. Apart from the skimpy and tight-fitting nature of these dresses, they are again transparent, revealing certain parts of their bodies that under normal dressing parts ought to be hidden away from the glare of people. In the case of boys, their pattern of dress is different. It makes them look so dirty and very unattractive, with unkempt hair and dirty jeans having pockets of holes deliberately created around the knees, and the lower part of the trousers allowed to flow on the ground because they go through their heels into their legs as socks. The waist of their trousers are lowered and fastened tightly at the middle of the two bottom lobes to reveal their boxers. And when they are walking, they drag their legs and one of their hands, particularly the left one, cupping their invisible scrotum as if they will fall to the ground if not supported. Although there are no universally acceptable way or ways of dressing, dresses are meant to serve some definable purpose, country or region. Notwithstanding, they are part of a people's culture and they define their tribal or ethnic identity. Hope you guys are listening to our program and hope you guys are enjoying. So I would like Mr. Dogo to enlighten us more about indecent dressing.
Well, thank you very much, my presenter.
You're welcome.
The issue of indecent dressing, we live in a multicultural society, and every society is it's guided by norms and certain expected behaviors, including the kind of dressings that people do. Simply put, when you talk about indecent dressing, you're talking about a kind of dressing that deviates from the normal.
Okay.
If we are expected, for instance, as a student, you're expected to wear a particular pattern of dressing, and you come in with a different one, you're already a deviant to the culture set by the institution that people must dress in a particular way. Okay. Now, the issue of indecent dressing, it's common thing to see youths, dress in such manners that exposes sensitive parts of their bodies, and sometimes in the name of fashion, you like in your introduction, you get to have people sagging, people deliberately putting on holes in their clothes and leading very that's the name. They call it crazy. They do a lot of these things. So these are all forms of indecent dressings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your contribution. Interesting response. Over to Miss Wetek. What do you think are the examples of indecent dressing? What do you have to say about it?
Well, the example, it has various forms of indecent dresses that may qualify indecency.
Okay.
On female students, we have sleeveless top, we have transparent clothes, we have mini skirts, we have body hooks, and we have tight trousers and dresses that exposes the pattern on the private part.
Okay. So what makes you think sleeveless top is an example of indecent dressing?
Well, sleeveless top is the example of indecent dressing because when you wear a sleeveless top, it exposes your body, it shows your armpits, your boobs, and maybe the top is short, it shows your tummy, and it exposes and it attracts bad men into you. And eventually, if they catch you somewhere, they can rape you. At the process, you may be pregnant, you may contact different diseases, which will lead you to destruction. Maybe when you are pregnant, you think of aborting it, and at the process, you may die. Even if you keep the pregnancy, you keep regretting that act. So I think it's very important and qualities that is very
okay. When you were giving us the examples, you said on females. I don't know, what about males? Do you have any?
Yeah, on males.
Examples.
Male do wear earrings, which is not necessary. And then hair ties. Men normally tie hair ties, which is not supposed. That one is indecent dressing.
Okay.
Sorry, maybe if I may add, as a holy man, let me speak more on this. Like for the male aspect of it, we must not forget that we live in this in Africa. We are guided by norms.
Okay.
You know, you just see a man braiding his hair. It's all part of it. It's not appropriate. It's not Africanly for a man to, you know, braid his hair, be putting on earrings, and then maybe lipsticks. Unless, of course, you want to follow the likes of our socialites like Bobrisky and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for your contribution. Over to Mrs. Angela Easy. You are looking beautiful this morning.
Thank you.
So, what do you think are the causes of indecent dressing?
Well, okay, I will say that some of the most important factors that are highly connected to indecent dressing among the youth in Nigeria, particularly the students.
Okay.
Poor parental guidance, influence from the peer group,
okay,
mental disorders, not keeping to the cultural value, low self-esteem, misuse of the internet, prostitution, and Western influence.
Okay, might just give us a small clue about prostitution.
Okay, as you dress indecent, but anybody that sees you might assume that you are a prostitute.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So the solution of indecent dressing, over to you,
Yeah. To curb the manners of indecent dressing, parents must discourage their children from dressing indecently. Lecturers or teachers must discourage this madness. Youth should arise and take responsibility. The mass media must promote good moral values, while religious leaders must preach against bad habits.
Thank you very much. Hope you guys are enjoying our program. In conclusion, dress the way you want to be addressed. Indecent dresses does not improve your beauty, rather they dent your image. Indecent dresses symbolize disgrace and public madness. Indecent dressing may instigate crimes such as rape. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do have a blessed day.
Good morning, viewers. You're welcome to Foundation Rock TV. Today on the program, we'll be talking on fuel scarcity. With me in the studio, I have a wonderful guest. We have with me the Minister of Petroleum, Mr. Titus Peter Magid.
Good morning, viewers.
The former Minister of Petroleum, Mr. Moses James.
Good morning, viewers.
The Commissioner of Petroleum, Plateau State Chapter, Ms. Lois Nerit.
Good morning, viewers.
And the Director of Petroleum, Ms. Felicia Danladi.
Good morning, viewers.
You are welcome once more. Today we'll be giving you more information on the scarcity of petroleum in Nigeria. So, the minister, what can you say on the fuel scarcity?
Well, fuel scarcity has been a major problem in the economy. The country has deviated from agriculture since we discovered petrol, and which has made petrol to be the major source of income to the country. So I think when they say fuel scarcity, we're talking about insufficient fuel. So at the stage where Nigerians are exporting oil to other countries and importing them back to the country, is also give rise to fuel scarcity.
Thank you for that. Commissioner of Petroleum, what do you think are the causes of the fuel scarcity in the country, especially Plateau State, which you are in now?
Okay. I think Nigeria do not have the standard equipment for processing the fuel, so they have to take it to other countries, and that causes a lot of causes. And it's not that Nigeria cannot provide the equipment. Nigeria can afford it. If Nigeria should try and afford all this equipment, I think the fuel rate can reduce.
Okay, thank you for that. The former Minister of Petroleum, fuel scarcity have affected us many, even economically in the country. Please, what's your take on this issue?
Well, this affect, let me say, it affect us students. Issue of transportation and documentation. Okay. It affect when before they used to travel at the rate, let me say, at lower price, but now due to this all fuel scarcity and the high price of fuel, the transport fee now is much. And now, before students to photocopy their documents at the rate, let me just say 20 naira and some things like that, money. But now, presently, they do photocopy at the rate of 15 naira and something. So I advise that the present government, they should do something about it.
Mr. Magid, please can you add more to what you have said?
Well, I think this issue of fuel scarcity has affected the economy in terms of education, in terms of transportation, and in terms of cost of living. Whereas foodstuffs in the market are very expensive as a result of fuel scarcity. For farmers to transport their goods to the market, they have to pay a lot of money, and that makes the price of the goods to also increase. Just like he has already talked about educational aspects, even printing of books now is expensive because fuel is cost, and going to the police station to buy fuel, which we normally buy at the rate of 150, is now some stations are also selling at 200, some are selling 180. So I think the government should try and regulate the price of fuel in each of these police stations in order for the country to regain a balanced economy.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Floyd, do you have anything to add to what you have said?
Okay, in addition to what they have said, the fuel scarcity have affected so many of the citizens in our country, especially in terms of food. Price of food is really high, is getting high now, and transportation, as they said, before you can travel from, you can leave from all airport to terminals, for instance, 50 naira, but now we talk of 150. That's at least. But before, things are more cheaper. Most people are scared of starting business because of issue of transportation. There's no fuel. Most of the cars are parked because of issue of this fuel scarcity, and it's really affecting our economy. And we just wish our government can do something about this, so that at least things will go back normal to how it used to be.
Okay, thanks for that. Can you give us solutions to the problem?
Okay, one of the solutions we have, I think, we need to provide. We need to start refining our fuel ourselves in the country. So that's one of the solutions that I have to say.
Mr. Magid, why has Nigeria don't have a standard refinery yet?
Well, it's not as if we don't have a standard refinery, it's just that the refineries we have, they are not functioning. So I think the government should put that into consideration in trying to make sure that these refineries are functioning effectively. Whereas we will not have to import oil to other countries and buy them in higher price. Once we have our own standard refineries, I think there will no issue like fuel scarcity again. Once we have where we can refine our oil, the price will be even lower. Instead of 150, I think we will start selling it maybe at 90 naira per liter.
Okay, thanks for that. Ms. Felicia, do you have anything to say?
Okay. As what I can say is that if Nigeria should be checking all the filling stations, because some filling stations are really selling their fuel as in the amount that they are selling per liter, they are also selling it the way the black market are selling their own. But if government should recognize standard people that can be checking all these filling stations, I think the fuel this problem can stop, and the fuel scarcity can also be reduced. For example, some filling stations will even reduce their tank, but they will sell it in the high price. But if Nigeria should just do something, I think all this will stop, and Nigeria can regain back its economic.
Thank you very much. My guests have spoken up their mind. They have said everything. So I think Nigeria is supposed to have an organizational body who will give a particular price on the fuel that each state should sell petroleum at that same price, not the same as the black market. Where in Plateau State, the black market are selling 150 per liter, then the filling station are selling 170. If Nigeria should come as one to build up this, I think we'll have a better economic. So I've come to the end of the program today. Stay tuned for more programs like this. You're on to Foundation Rock TV. Stay tuned and God bless.
Welcome to Rock TV, the station that nurture young talents, reaching you live from Plateau State Polytechnic Jos campus. My name is Tongding Shady Augustine, your humble anchor for today. And today with me in the studio, I have some delighted and beautiful guests with me, and I would like each and every one of you to introduce yourself, starting with Miss Margaret.
Hi, I'm Margaret Ishaya.
And I'm Polika Birisad.
And I'm Victoria Dambaba.
Thank you all for coming.
Welcome.
Before we proceed, I have discovered that nowadays in Nigeria, truancy is being rampant in school. We found out that students have been staying home like at their school without coming to school with no adequate reason. Before we proceed, I would love Miss Margaret to give us more light on
thank
what
you.
is truancy.
Truancy is the total absence of students on school without no adequate reasons or any reasonable reasons at all, and that truancy affects them a lot, which they don't know.
Okay, Mr. Seth, what can you say about the causes of truancy?
Well, how does truancy affect the student, if I should ask, right? That would be the question. In our data analysis, we have discovered that the most students don't come to school because of lack of communication and excuses. Furthermore, suddenly, students likely get affected in school. It leads to the poor academic excellence. Most students stay back at home and failing to come to school makes you grade low in school, which is also a result of backwardness in school. So I discovered the student may not likely have anything to defend themselves in the society. This is because of the problem student, because of their lack and difficult attitudes on their studies.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're trying to say that most students truancy affects students in school because of lackadaisical attitudes.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think are some of the ways to stay out of truancy?
Okay. If I should give you ways on how we should stay out from truancy, especially the student, need communication. Call them, need part of word and advice for them to understand that being escaping from school or not being attending to school, it really affects a lot.
Ms. Vicky, can you please add up to the ways to cope truancy in school?
Okay, way out of truancy in school. In most schools, we have discovered that there's a way out of being truant in school. Students are more lackadaisical in school because they don't know the danger of being absent in school. We have further discovered that having good grades and being focused can increase and add up to your improvements in school. And also having and changing the kinds of friends in school can also be of help to you. Being punctual and attentive in class can also help you because you benefit a lot. Financial students should learn to be constant and punctual in class and have no excuse for missing the class. In other words, students should try to meet up to the expectations of lecturers by being punctual and cope up with other activities in school.
Okay, so I really learned a lot here because I believe that viewer out there are watching what we're discussing and they are putting it in as practice to their lives. Miss Margaret, I want you to still lay more shade on the effects of truancy.
Okay, I'll say some of the effects that students come through when they are absent from school. Students who are truant are more likely to fall behind academically. You don't come to school, you have these possibilities that you will be
absent in every aspect. You have carryovers. In fact, you might be withdrawn from the school totally if you don't come to school. Your attendance give you more grades. Some of these students don't know. Being absent from school give you the chances of losing it all. Like, you'll just be withdrawn from the school without you knowing. And secondly, drop out from school. You'll be dropped out, as I earlier said. Thirdly, you'll be out there doing nothing. You'll be using drugs and be involved with some of these criminal justice activities.
Okay, so you think staying out from school can regard to all this?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think students should do?
Students should always come to school.
Okay.
Yes, they should always come to school. They should not just stay at home without no reason at all.
Yeah.
Always find time to, and I believe this triances is caused by some parents too. You know, when you don't have a good parent to encourage you to go to school and you have that total freedom to stay at home, it gives you the freedom to I don't want to go to school, I just want to be at home, and that gives you the liberty to stay at home, and it causes a lot to your academic pursuit.
Okay, so I have seen mostly in school, I've seen mostly in most schools that students are being lackadaisical. They don't really like attending class frequently because they feel that they have work to do, they have chores to do at home or other things. Okay, what do you think the students should do? Like, should there be time that they need to fix? Like, maybe if they are going for work, let's say from 10 to 5, what are the approximate time that they need to fix in order to achieve their goals in school?
Well, if you are a working person and you have lectures maybe by 12, then you go to your work. If it is possible, you go to your work early in the morning. Then once it's 12 or before 12, you start coming to school, and you always get in touch with the class representative and the lecturer so that they will know, yes, you are working, so that they will not think you just stay at home for nothing. Yes.
Mr. Said, can you add up to what she said?
Yeah, on our research, accordingly to Jean Cancianis, Barek and Wilson, 2007, currently relate families factors with truant behavior include but are not limited to parent education, parental supervisions, and household income student that attends large school may feel insulated, alienated in their school setting. So to escape these feelings, so they choose not to attend. Furthermore, the student do really feel secure in school because they are lacking of trustworthy. Somebody within a school, 25% persons in school stays absent in school because they feel insecure, which purposely means, according to the research and analysis from the student, many students stay absent in school because some of them are working while some stays back in school because they don't really listen to the lectures, well, especially classes with highly populated. Yeah.
Okay, so you think most of the students, the reason why they stay back at home is because high population?
Yes, some of them.
Okay, hope you are enlightened by this wonderful guest of mine in the studio. If you are out there watching, I would like you to know that staying out of school or being absent in school, it's not supposed to be done in school. Try and keep on coming to school every day. Make sure you're in school. Make sure you always keep in touch with your class reps or your lecturers. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for having this great time with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Foundation Rock TV, the station that nurture young talents, reaching you all out there from Plateau State Polytechnic, Jos campus. My name is Raymond HRDC. With me here in the studio, I will, as some guests, I would like them to introduce themselves.
My name is Grace Adamu.
I am Nijat Adamu Hussein.
I'm Akuka Tebita Ayuba.
I'm Diana Daniel DJ.
We will be talking about campus marriage. Campus marriage is simply the immoral cohabitation involving two individuals of the opposite sex living together, usually under the same about sharing everything in common. They eat and sometimes study together in classes and even have sexual relationship without being legally married. What do you have to say about campus marriage?
I think, well, some of the consequences of campus marriage, the female student involved normally get withdrawn from school due to low grades, and then some of them get transmitted with sexual transmitted diseases due to unprotected sex.
Thank you, Diana. Tabitha, what would you like to say about the effect?
Causes of campus marriage: higher tuition fee, shortage of on-campus accommodation to study each other before marriage.
Grace, you have anything to say about it?
Yeah, I'd like to throw more lights on the shortage on campus accommodation. Okay, I think due to lack of campus accommodation leads students going off from the campus looking for apartment, and that one includes shortage of maybe they don't have enough money, so some of them think being cohabitation, getting married, like being together to each other, makes them okay. It will reduce the stress and it will reduce the money. They will join money. Some of them think, okay, we have to get married, join money for the accommodation so that we'll be together.
Yeah. Naja.
I'll try it on consequences. As things as the lives of most practitioner campus marriage effects a student academic performance, which often leads to eventual withdrawal.
Okay.
When such students can no longer meet the standards set by the school.
Okay. Well, to me, what I have to say about this, I think parents should pay often visits to their children in school to know about their lifestyles, and more on that, I think counselors should liaise with the medical personnel in health centers of their various universities to organize lecturers on the health hazards of cohabitation. More on that, counselors collaborate with students affairs officers of their universities to obtain students' home addresses, to invite their parents for conference on factors responsible for cohabitation among the students, especially those that relate to the parents' consequence of cohabitation on the students, their parents, and the society at large.
Hello viewers, welcome to Rock Foundation TV, Plateau State Polytechnic here in Jos campus. Today we'll be discussing a topic which is effect of social media on students' performance. The world today is celebrating the improvement in communication technology through information technology. Sorry, I beg your pardon. The world today is celebrating the improvement of communication technology. It has helped us today in communicating with our old friends. It has helped us in getting information sending information, and so on. Now, examples of social network are Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, and so forth. Now, if I may ask, what is social media?
Okay, I'm by name Dinat Davo. Social media is a computer-based application that facilitates the sharing of ideas, thoughts, and information through the building of virtual network and communications.
Alright. Now, social media, like she said, is a platform that employs different mobile. It can be laptop, it can be our phones, to create highly interactive platform where which individuals and communities share information, discuss or modify users generated content. Now, what are the advantages of social media to the society or to students? What are the advantages what are the benefits that we get using the social media?
I am by name Nancy Chekura Goili. Here are some of the advantages. It helps people to be better. It helps us in communicating with our new and old friends. And it also creates and exchange users generate contact.
Okay, as the earlier Ron mentioned, and some of the advantages is that it helps students to experience and exchange ideas and information beyond textbooks and classroom lectures, and it also helps us to provide various opportunities for study that are accessed by everyone, and that's the global, as we all know. It also develops a great ability to access, evaluate, maintain, and share information within the student as well.
Okay, so is there anyone who has any more idea on the advantages of social media?
I'm by name Zainab Umar Ahmed, and I have some advantages with me. In this nowadays, we normally use social media through which we don't have to go to the cafe before we do anything to receive messages or information. We can use our phone. That's how I'm going to use the social media through our phones. We must not go to the cafe.
All right, to add up to what she's saying now, she's talking about the exposure. Now, that is the exposure of social media, students and social media. In recent times, students normally go to cyber cafe to get information or to make more research or inquiries for their assignments or other things. But with technology that has improved now, students can use their phones to access their information or to get answers to their questions. They don't have to go to cyber cafe, or they don't have to go to the library, to get information now. So now, let's talk about the student addictiveness to social media. Now, our topic is the disadvantage or the effect of social media on student performance. Now, because of the way students have engaged themselves using their phones, they've become so addicted that they spend about 4 to 12 hours of their time using their phones. They give less time to their books. They don't study their books. Instead, they spend more time on Facebook and other social media, and it reduces the performance of students in school. Now, let's talk more on the disadvantages. Dinatu, I'm sure you should be having some of the disadvantages with you.
Okay, as she has earlier on mentioned, addiction. It has to do with the excessive use of social media, in which students engage themselves into, and it make them so lazy in terms of reading their books ahead, and that makes their performance very poor. And it also reduce the way we relate with each other, because in terms of you wanting to get a feedback from your
classmate while you're talking to him, his attention is on the social media, and by that he won't be able to respond to you as you want. And also peer pressure is one of the disadvantage in which we have, because use of alcohol, cigarettes and drugs, it also makes us to involve in taking risks, and also it changes our attitude and behavior as well. Because once if you are into drugs, alcohol or cigarettes, you'll be abnormal, you won't concentrate on your academic, and that reduces the performance of students as well. So we have problems in school. It deals with the level of distraction we create within the school, and that makes the school to create strict rules and regulations for us to abide. But some of the students don't find it easily because of the way the attitude or the behavior they develop nowadays. And it facilitates laziness, as I earlier on mentioned. It makes students lazy because we depend on social media than our academics. Because some of us use 4 to 12 hours using the social media, in which is not right.
Alright. Now, to add up to what she said, let's talk about cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is when you upload or you send files that are personal, or information that are personal that belongs to someone, in order to upset that person. Students, a lot of youths today have the habit of cyberbullying their colleagues or their mates in order to upset them or to make them to feel emotional. That is another disadvantage of social media. Now, let's talk about conclusion. Yeah. The study concluded that a large number of students in institutions are addicted to social media, and students lose focus on their academic tasks and are negatively affect their academic results. The study showed that social media enhances the students' ability to excel in academic performances. Now, study recommendation. Adopting a new strategy to understand the recipe of success, and which involve the learner, the teacher, and the environment where students or technology are used. Students must learn to control the way or the times, the hours they spend on social media, and they should make benefiting use of the social media. Thank you so much for participating. I still remain your anchor, Chidis Ezra.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Foundation Rock TV here in Plateau State Polytechnic. I am Mariam Abubakar. With me here in the studio are my guests. Today I will allow them to introduce themselves.
Okay, my name is Moses Chohu David.
Kopa Blessing Yunkat.
Comfort Yakubu Vera.
I'm Aisha Ahmed Absalam.
Today's program is going to be Today's program is going to center on the issue concerning the effect of drug abuse in Nigeria and the academy. So, Mrs. Copper, what is drug abuse?
Drug abuse means taking drugs without the prescription of the doctor or a medical personnel.
Okay. Mr. Moses, what are the effects of drug abuse on the academic performance of higher institution students in Nigeria?
Okay, effects of drug abuse, bringing it down to our students. One of the effects is I see depression. Yes, because the moment you're already used to drug, there's a way depression comes in. So it's one of the effects of drug abuse. And then another thing is that you begin to, there's the way you begin to act, especially when it comes to academic performances, because you won't, at that point you won't be stable, and then you're already addicted. So that's basically the two effects of students.
Mrs. Comfort,
Yes.
what do you think can lead people into drug abuse?
Okay, what can lead to drug abuse? We have peer pressure, we have early use, and we have lack of family involvement.
Yes.
And we all know what early use mean. Like when you send a child to go out to get drugs for you at the pharmacies, so when the child come back to give you the drug, so when he give you the drug and you use it, and maybe you feel you are done using it and it's remaining, you can give that child to take the drug, and at that moment when the child take the remaining drug, he might start getting used to the drug and start buying the drug anytime he gets more money, because he feel his uncle does it, so he can go and buy it and use it.
Yes, right.
And family involvement. If you don't have this family that care about you, they will definitely not care of what you do outside or in school, because they will come to the school, and then maybe our HOD is trying to talk to them about what that student is doing, and his family doesn't give a good care about him. Like he has the right to do what he wants. Like lack of training, lack of home training.
Mrs. Aisha, what are the causes of drug abuse?
The causes of drug abuse, I can say that if you have, for example, in your school, the people you mingle with, let's say for example, they are bad friends.
Yes.
You understand? And the deals in drug. Maybe sometimes, like, they don't have enough cash to buy the drug, and maybe among them, you are the richest.
Yes.
Or they think, like, you can give them the affordable money to buy the drug. They'll be like, guy, can you help me? So amount, I want to do so thing. When you give them today, the next day, the following time, they'll be like, this is drug you are using your money to buy. Can you can you share with us? Can you want to talk? They'll be like, okay, let me share with you people. As far as you start sharing with them, you are involved in the drug.
Yeah. Let me add to the causes. I have checked and I've noticed most of the causes, especially because we are bringing in our students. Yeah. You see sexual harassment.
Yes,
it's very, very common, and then it leads a lot of people to abusing of drugs, because when you're sexually harassed, it brings in depression, and when you're depressed, at that point you want to get anything that would ease off your depression at that point. So one of the effects is or the causes, you see sexual harassment. It leads you into taking of drugs that are not meant for you. You might be feeling, I just want to take this one so that I'll cool off my mind, but you're gradually getting addicted to it. So sexual harassment too has been an effect.
How do you think the society and the government will be able to help those youths abuse drugs?
Okay, you think they should involve them in skills, work, so that they will have work that they will be doing. If you have work that do keep your time, you will not think of,
your mind will get out of
you will not think of doing that thing or taking that drugs. So you need to have something that will keep you busy, work that you do not even have time for yourself. You understand, ba?
Yes. And to add up again, education. It's education. They should bring up seminars, and then seminars that talks or deals more about educating the youths on the effects of drug abuse. Yes, because it really go a long way in helping our youths now, because if you're educated, you know this thing is not good for your health, and then it has been consistent. I believe it's going to help a majority of people who want. And then in order to help the society, is for those who are already who are already addicted, they should rehabilitate them. Yes, it's very important. Yes, it's going to help reduce the rate of people who are used with drugs. Yes.
Thank to all of you, my guests, for honoring my invitation to be part of this program. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Hello viewer, you're welcome to Foundation Rock Television here in Jos Campus, Plateau State. My name is Jessica Francis Morina, and I'm here with my guests. They would love to introduce themselves.
Hello viewers, my name is Asham Jonathan.
My name is Dabot David.
And we are discussing about the economic in Nigeria. And we know Nigerian is the largest populations in Africa. So I would love you to tell us about the economic in Nigeria.
So the country is endowed with abundant mineral resources ranging from solid mineral, crude oil, and gold, tin, iron, core, nickel, and so on and so forth. So the hope of Nigerian economy before the advance of oil and economic and commercial quantity was agriculture. But the economy before the advent oil and commercial quantity was agriculture. It's obvious that over-depending on oil as a major source of revenue could fail the country as it finance budget as usual. So the causes.
Okay, the country is blessed with abundant and natural resources regarding from the solid mineral and golds, iron, and zincs and stones. We have the problems in our Nigerian economic, and one of the problems we are having the Nigerian economic is over depending on the crude oil. So can you please tell us about the over depending, because we are having we have a lot in our country. We have some other things that we will depend on apart from the crude oil. We have golds, we have zincs, we have stones. So why are we over depending on crude oils?
One of the major causes of Nigerian economic problems was over depending in crude oil as a major source of revenue for the government, and with the principal fall in the price of crude oil, it's become very difficult for the government to emphasize on the nation budget comfortable and gradually. So
okay, and another problem we are having in Nigerian economic is corruption and greediness. So I would love you to tell us more about the corruption and greediness in our Nigerian economic.
So corruption has been eating deep into the nation fabric Nigeria, which has its various time being rated as number 27 most corrupt country in the world. And
okay, we have the over depending on crude oils and also corruption and greediness. What did you think is the solution to these problems? What is the solutions to the problem of over depending on crude oil? What is the solution? How can we solve this to get a better economic for the masses? What is the solutions to all these problems we are having as in our economy today?
The solution for these economic problems, we should differentiate the economic and make culture, our cultural practice, the main state of the economic as is used to be before nowadays.
Okay, you know we have to live up to expectation of our masses. So what did you think? What is the solutions to this problem, sir? Or Mr. Asyom, did you have any other addition to the solutions of this problem we are having?
We should go back to our ancient way of transporting our goods and services from the countries, and we should also look at mostly the corruption. It's a very dangerous effect for the society because of people can impart mostly the corruption from different people to another, so that the country will not be organized. Rather,
the economic is not encouraging. As we see, people are suffering. It's as a result of the economic. Talk of the strike. Some of our schools are on strike is also as a result of the economic. Our teachers, our lecturers have not been paid. Is also, yes, some of the problems we are having in the Nigerian economic. So as to this strike and teachers not being paid, so how can we solve? What is the solutions to this problem?
The solution is not far from us. Like we do mention about the zinc, tin, and some other stuff. If we go back to our mineral resources, invest them in a special way, I don't think that there will be such problems of paying a lack of paying lecturers. And we do depend on crude oil because it's one of the most important major source of revenue for the government. And we should go back to all our mineral resources. We should go back to them, try to look out how we are going to improve in our mineral resources development.
Thank you very much for coming. We've come to the end of today's program. Bye.
Good day, viewers. Welcome to Foundation Rock TV here in Plateau State Polytechnic, Jos. We will be discussing about water scarcity in Plateau State, Jos. My name is Nachit Ayuba Gambo. With me here are my guests for today.
I'm Ingemuris Ajik.
I'm Salma Brian.
We know about water scarcity, and water scarcity have been a big problem in Jos. So I would like to ask Ms. Salma here to tell me about water scarcity.
Water scarcity is the lack of fresh water resources to meet the standard water demand of the masses. I think that's all for the definition of it.
Do you have any contribution to our definition? Don't. Thank you for the Mr. Moses, can you tell us about the types of water scarcity?
Okay, we have the physical scarcity and the economic water scarcity. The physical occur when the demand of the population exceed the available water resources of a region. And the economic water scarcity, it occurs when water is adequate but is unavailable due to the lack of significant investment in water infrastructure.
Ms. Salma, do you have any addition?
No, I don't have anything. He has already said it all.
Thank you for the contribution. So what causes water scarcity?
I think the major causes of this water scarcity, number one is climate change, followed by the natural calamities such as drought and floods. We have the increase in human consumption. We have the overusage of waters. I think that's all.
Do you have any addition, Mr. Moses? So what do you think government should do to reduce water scarcity?
I think the government should be fair and smart to dig boreholes in different different areas of the community, and they should be, and I think that's all.
Do you have any addition?
No, I don't have anything. Has already said.
So thank you for honoring my invitation. I would like to have you guys next time on this. Sorry.
Hello, good afternoon, viewer. Welcome to Foundation Rock TV here in Plateau State Polytechnic Jos campus. I am Joyce Masouda Abdullahi, and here with me are my guests, which I will allow them to introduce themselves.
Alright viewers, my name is Thomas Ilfoda Ilgen, a legal representative of National Human Rights Commission.
I am Mafen Steven, Minister of Women Affairs.
I am Kiritmo Daniel from Welfare.
I am Yakubu Comfort Simi, Nigerian Association of Women Journalists.
Okay, today's program we're going to be talking about gender-based violence. So, Ms. Marfin, please, can you tell us more about what gender-based violence is all about?
Gender-based violence affects women and men. Gender-based violence Gender-based violence affects women and men of all age and background.
Okay.
Women and girls are the primary victims of this violence. Boys and men are frequently targeted. That's why we have the Ministry of Women Affairs to help stop the violence.
Okay. So, Mr. Thomas, can you tell us the causes of gender-based violence?
Well, from the human rights group, I must recommend that we condemn all acts of gender-based violence.
Okay.
But the causes are common in our society. We learned that and noticed that women are to be submissive to their husband, of which some of these women say no to their husband. And again, another thing is that economic situation of the country is not favorable, and then some men are being easily aggressive whenever they had any issue of money.
Okay. So, Ms. Simi, the effect, I think we have effects of gender-based violence.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so please can you throw us more light on it?
Okay, we have disability and mental disorder, which which means a process whereby a man beats his wife, and to an extent that she has maybe broken hands and even leads to death.
Okay.
Yes.
So what about the mental disorder?
Yes, mental disorder. In the process whereby there's pressure and there's pressure and there's pressure which leads to the disorder.
Okay, Ms. Daniel, look, we have solutions on gender-based violence.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the solution, this can be done through organizing campaign, training, peer-to-peer education, dimension in all aspects of education policies by providing accessibility information about what danger-based violence is all about, its information and its different forms, possible remedies and existing support, and to educate women on what gender-based violence is all about. Educate yourself on the root causes of violence against women and against girls and women, steps in male dominance and the socialization of men. Become education on the roots of gender-based violence. So women need to read their books and articles, join groups at school, and attend any training available to them.
okay, thank you. Mr. Thomas, you made mention of women being beaten.
Yes.
For aggression of men.
Yes.
So can you just shed more light on it?
Well, what I meant by that is that some women easily gotten beaten by their husbands in such a way that maybe a husband is coming from hustling. Maybe he did not get much money, and then the woman is asking of 20,000 while the man is having 500. It's easily make him angry, and then in such a way that he tried to explain, and maybe the woman would not understand with him. You see, that is leading to a transfer of aggression. He doesn't have much with him, and then she's asking for much. So that one too is leading to violence.
Okay.
Okay, to prevent this violence, yeah, because mostly the violence happen in marriage. So before getting married, you need to understand each other, because when you don't have understanding between one another, because anything you do, the other person do, it pisses the husband off, and he beats her. It also leads to violence.
Okay, it's alright. So, Simi, do you have anything to contribute?
Adding to what she said, there should be understanding. They should know each other before getting married. You know, sometimes parents do fix marriage for their children, is not proper. And sometimes that fixing of that fixed marriage, fixed marriage, it disqualify and discourage most couples, because sometimes they don't know each other. It's just they don't know each other. They don't know each other's opinion and properly. So we should discourage that kind of fixed marriage.
Okay. Yes. Daniel, any contributions?
Okay. My own is that as a couple, you have to be critical and question. You don't need to depend only on mass media. We can ask questions in between ourselves to know the right things to do and to know the effect about the danger-based violence.
Okay. So I think that's all for today. Is there anything? Besides anything?
Yeah, well, from the National Human Rights Commission, we advise and encourage people that people should take humanity very seriously. People should put humanity first. If you are a husband and you know that cutting off your hand is going to do you much pain, it's going to give you excruciating pain, you won't do that to your wife either, your son. So we advise the society to be peaceful.
Okay, but this gender-based violence, is it just basically on husband and wife, or
it's not just based on husband and wife? Some of these women do beat their own husbands, being that depend on the strength of the man. But what we come to understand is that 25% of men are being beaten by their wife, while 75% is on women and children.
Okay. It's alright. So, Ms. Martin, do you think children are also involved in this gender-based violence? Yes, children are also involved in the violation, because some people will go to the orphanage with the aim of adopting the children to take care of them, but when they take them to their home, all they get is being violated. You don't get to educate them more. You just maltreat them and turn them as house help. Okay. Ms. Daniel, any contribution? Nothing. Okay. Mr. Thomas. Okay, thank you to our wonderful viewers for tuning in to our station today. This is Foundation Rock TV. We'll meet same time next week for the program. Thank you.
Good afternoon, viewers. It's my pleasure to be your host today. I'm by name Peter Teye, and today we shall be. I have with me some guests in the studio. So they will start by introducing themselves from the right.
I'm by name Luca Lawrence Pajok.
I'm Emmanuel Wakias.
Okay. I'm by name Moses Joshua.
Okay. Thank you for being a part of this show. Today we shall be discussing about a very important topic, and that topic is the effects of social media on students. So we would like to have a light on what social media is all about. So we'll start with the person by Mr. From Moses from the right. Mr. From, can you please have an idea what social media is?
According to my understanding, social media can be defined or explained as an internet-based form of communication, because social media platforms allow users to have conversation sharing of information, and creating websites. Coming down to the layman understanding, social media can be defined as a tool of communication or communication tool between lecturers and students, families and friends, externals and relations. And so some people can go down and check. So coming down to students level, social media helps students a lot, and it have an impact to the life of students. Last but not the least, social media produce and provides information and communication to the public.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moses. Let's ask you, Mr. Lawrence, Guakes, if I'm right, Emmanuel Guakes. Can you please tell us an importance or an advantage of social media to the life of students?
Okay.
Yeah.
In my own sense, the advantages of social media can be, let's say, interaction. Yeah. Why I use interaction is because we disseminate message like through the internet, the use of WhatsApp, Instagram, yeah, to enlighten ourselves. Yeah. If there's anything like in the school now like this, we might have something doing that maybe there are ones that I don't know about.
Yes, that's your fellow peers.
So yeah, you now use the social media to let them know that there's something taking place.
This what's going on.
So day, so time. Yeah. Interaction. We also have what do
you can learn from the social media. Is that maybe in essence that's what you are trying to say?
Yeah, e-learning.
You can learn from
social media.
Yeah.
Other things, right?
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. Mr. Lawrence Luca, can you please tell us this disadvantage of social media on students? Those things that makes it not to be profitable to students.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. We have addiction. Let me go by listing them first.
Okay.
We have addiction, distraction, and posting of inappropriate content, and using social media in classrooms can distract human interaction. Let's go to the addiction.
Yep.
In our day-to-day, most of kids growing now, will I say, or maybe to my age, some are really addicted, like they can't do without their phones. Or maybe better still, let's say some will be like, okay, your mother wants to send you, and you'll be like, okay, I'm just chatting, let me do this first. Get okay, like, and let's go down to distraction. Most students in class, a teacher is teaching, and will be like using phone in the class, which definitely, if is your attention, there's a saying that says you cannot have two masters at the same time. So okay, the teacher is teaching, and the student, his attention is already carried away by his phone. And so mostly it's just chatting.
Okay.
I know what the lecturer is saying out there is something that will help you. You're already distracted. And let's go down to cyber crime. Most nowadays there's a new thing now presently that is Yahoo. So,
Yahoo.
I know those are some are taking it as if it's helping them. Quite sure, no doubt. But there's a saying that says what goes around surely comes around, and you cannot steal from somebody and expect that tomorrow you won't have would I say
the repercussion
for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, for this contribution. It's very, very well understood. I hope our viewers there at home will get to learn from this segment of the show. And because we are working with time, I would like to let's just discuss a little something. But let me ask Mr. Emmanuel. Mr. Emmanuel, what do you think the government can do, maybe in the body of the school or the educational system, to make sure that this level of cyber and internet distraction doesn't affect the educational part of the students as a student?
Okay.
What do you think?
To my own view, I think government, I don't think there's anything much that they can do to stop this shabab.
Okay.
It's just students are the ones that have that responsibility to either choose
from the
as in
choose the make a good choice.
The decision either to do it or not, you understand?
Okay.
So the choice is just from students.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me add up to what he said.
All right.
We have the EFCC, and though they are all over they are online, they do look at what people do online.
Okay.
Yes, though they have like trace. Let's say they will trace you if you are track you or possibly and let's say today if the government would be like give them what they really want, because the government will give them everything they want, then I think it's okay.
All right, thank you very much. I was actually expecting a point from you people, but it's very okay. I think we are good. So thank you very much for viewing and staying tuned with us. I still remain your anchor, Mr. Peter T. Thank you and have a lovely day.
Good afternoon, viewer. This is Foundation Rock TV here in Plateau State Polytechnic Jos campus. My name is Esther Titus, and with me here are
Sarah James.
Our today's program is about student truancy. Student truancy, it is the act of responsibilities and duties, especially from attending school. It is the act of responsibility and duty, especially from attending school. Please, can you shed more light on student truancy?
Student truancy is the act of being absent in school without permission. It is a major issue, being rollover of student success in academics.
It is also a deliberate or illegal absence of the student.
Okay. So what do you think causes student truancy?
What causes student truancy is due to some issues like drug abuse. When students engages themselves in this act, it may cause them or lead them to failure, and they will not be able to be committed in school. And this can cause their mental health problem.
Okay.
So, and then financial hardship. A student that is like very in a poor background, and he don't have money, will be calculating. If you come to school, I have to go home and then work and have to get food and eat, and it will be very difficult for him to be coming to classes every day.
And then he will not be focused in class.
Well, I think sometimes it's lack of parental guidance. Because when the parents don't guide their children, they will have so much health issues in their academics, and then they will lose interest in school.
Most things that causes student truancy is illness. When a student is ill, he will not be able to communicate with his lecturer or the course rep. The reason why he will be absent from school, he just keep him to himself, and then it also causes that too. So in conclusion, the study concluded that truancy hinders effective learning and could lead to poor academic performance of students. Constant absence from school has serious negative consequences, both for truant youth themselves and for communities, which suffer both short and long-term threats to public safety. Thank you for watching us. May God bless you.
Good afternoon, viewers. This is Foundation Rock TV here in Plateau State Polytechnic Jos campus. I am by name Bashir Abdul. With me here in the studio are some wonderful guests. And today we're discussing about the kerosene hike in the country. And in the program, in today's program, I have with me Miss.
I'm in our Grace G. Rohana.
Thank you. Miss Grace, what do you think is the cause of the kerosene hike?
Thank you for the question. The cause of kerosene hike in this country, one is lack of refineries and lack of adequate equipment. Having been the Nigerian, they have this adequate equipment. The cost of kerosene will not be at a very high rate the way it is today. So to me, it's lack of refineries. That's what is causing the kerosene hike in the country today.
So thank you for that. Ms. Simi, has the price of kerosene been deregulated?
Yes, it has been deregulated because the general manager of NMPC mentioned on Sunday in an interview in Abuja that the price has been deregulated, and the cause of the increase in the price is due to the demand and supply. And the more the demand, the higher the price keep increasing. So it has been deregulated and it is not stable at the moment. The price just keep moving up and down. Yes.
Thank you very much. Ms. Blessing, so what do you think is happening to fuel that can also affect the price of kerosene or kerosene?
Okay. What is happening to fuel is it can also affect kerosene because fuel is from petroleum that we get fuel, and it's also from that petroleum that also gets the kerosene. So the government should try and intervene for we the citizens, because in most cases the rich people use gas, but for the poorer people they use kerosene in some cases and firewood. So if kerosene will have it will get cost and we the citizens cannot afford to buy it and use, and it's also easier because kerosene has a more advantage than the firewood. You can use the kerosene in your room, you feel comfortable. The firewood maybe outside because of the heat and some other things.
Do you think the limited movement and hidden manufacturing activities?
Yes, because the movement is in high risk. For example, now, if I'm coming to school now, I have to pay. Before I used to pay 50 naira to come to school, but now I have to pay 100 naira or 150, and I have to beg the driver to plead with him. So we are begging the government to intervene in the issue of this fuel issue.
So, Ms. Simi, what do you think is the solution to this problem?
Okay, because at the moment I don't think the government is doing anything to help reduce the high rate of fuel and kerosene. So I think the government should intervene and plead on our behalf, because the high rates of kerosene is really affecting us. And adding to what she said, the high rate of fuel has limited movement. Yes, it has limited movement because the fuel scarcity is another case, and the rate is not reducing; it's just increasing, and it has limited movement and production of activities, because
some machines need fuel to produce, and it's really affecting the production and also movement. Because as the fuel keep increasing, so the drivers keep increasing the amount they collect from passengers. Yes, it's limiting movement and production, and also it's making life uncomfortable for us because of the increase of kerosene. Yes, so I think the government should intervene and do something about it, try to make life more easier for us.
So, Ms. Grace, you have any?
Well, I will just add a little to what she said. We are really pleading on the government. We really need their help, because if the government didn't come in to come and help us, the citizens, I don't think life will be easy for us to go, especially for the poor people. Those that are living in the villages, even some that are living here in the town. The cost of kerosene height is very high, seriously. So we are asking the government to please come to our rescue. They are the one that they have hand in this. So we are pleading on them. Yes, we are pleading on them to help us with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for our wonderful guest for coming and also for all your contribution. Thanks to the managing director, and also thanks to my wonderful viewer. We wish to do this next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, viewers. You're on to Foundation Rock TV, just here in Just Campus, Plateau State Polytechnic, and today we are going to be talking about career choice, the impact on career choice. And we all know that career is used to describe an occupation or a profession that usually involves special training or formal education, or that is considered to be a person's life work. So I am Mirat Monday, and I have some guests here with me that will put more light to this topic. So I would love you to introduce yourself.
I'm Elizabeth Williams Pam. I'm Dangonankan Samuel. I am Follow Brenda Flynn. I'm Joy John.
Okay, so back on the topic, we are talking about career choice, the impact on career choice. So I would love to ask you guys some questions for this topic on career choice. So before you choose what career you need to do, there are some certain things you need to check on how for you to choose this career that you want to go into. So what are these things, what are these questions that you need to ask yourself when you want to choose this career?
Okay, before choosing a career, there are certain questions you must ask yourself. That's what are your interests, what are your hobbies, what are your strengths, what are your skills, and so on. So I would like to show more light on what are your interests. And interest can be seen as a feelings that you have when you want to know or learn something. When choosing a career, you must have interest in that career you are, and you must have interest
on that career. Okay, thanks for the contribution. So this question pops into my mind on parents. So how do parents affect our career choice?
Mostly parents affect our career choice because what I want to do, or what a child want to choose for his own career, it's not what a parent wants. Maybe some parents want engineering, doctors, nursing, and lawyers, but a child doesn't want that. So some parents really affect our career real bad, because mine too. My mother wanted to affect my career, but I stand on my ground saying no.
Wow.
That yes, I don't. That's not what I want.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
you actually stand on your ground and
Yes,
you guys are muted now.
Yes.
So that was actually a good contribution, by the way.
Yes.
So there are some factors that determine you to, like, when you want to go into your career, there are some factors for you to consider. So what are those factors that you want to consider before going or moving into that particular career your heart desire?
Okay, thank you. The factors that influence career choice is that you have personality and interest, values. So you understand, for you to have an interest on your career choice, you have to know what you want to do and also what you are happy to do, so that you are to your career choice. Okay, let's say like for example, you understand, you have an interest to further your education, so that you have to put yes and value, so that you know that you achieve your goals.
Okay, so that was actually a good contribution, by the way. So I think, like, today the economic do affect our career choices today, because there are many instances that yes, the economic do to affect our career. So what are those things that you think that the economic affects our career choices that we make?
The factors that affect our career choices: number one, we have wages, we have non-wages factors, we have qualities and skills required, and we have cultural and factors. And what is a wages is a payment. It's a payment of money based on a labor, service, or a contract. For example, like a teachers, their payment is less, and there is some teachers in a private secondary schools. Some of the teachers, they pay them 5,000 naira monthly, and for them to take care of their families, children, it will be hard for them to take care of their families and children. And to the young people, they found it difficult for them to go into teachers, to go into
teaching skills,
to go into those occupations. They would rather choose a highly paid jobs, like lawyers, doctors, and the rest of them.
Okay, to put in more life to what she said on wages, she meant that, okay, for today the economic, we found ourselves into, like, Nigeria. We find out that, okay, the country is not moving okay for most of us, and to students like us who normally pay the school fees and all this stuff, they find it hard to go into the school fees part and to pay their school fees and all of that. Of course, it was nice additions to what you just said. So I just hope you guys were educated more on career choice, and we have come to the end of the program on career choice. So thanks for listening.
Good afternoon, viewer. This is Foundation Rock TV here in Plateau State Polytechnic Jos campus. My name is Adewi Christiana, and I'm here with some guests. I'd like them to introduce themselves.
I'm Sandra Michael. I hope you.
My name is Sunday Ruth Pam.
Okay, and my name is Bot Loisto.
I'm Alexis Peter. Okay, welcome you all to the program. Our program for today is about gender-based violence. I would like to shed a little light on this before my guest talk. Okay, first of all, what is gender? Starting with the word gender, is the term used to denote the social characteristic assigned to a man or a woman. Violence is a means of control and oppression that can include emotional, social, or economic force, as well as physical harm. It can come as physical assault or threatening. Miss Alexis, can you please tell us about the overview of the type of gender-based violence?
All right. Here with me we have sexual violence, which we understand the word sexual harassment. There is rape, and under rape we have marital rape as well. Sexual violence is known to be referred as any act or attempt of threat of a sexual to an individual, especially to a girl's child. So we have what we call emotional and physical sexual harassment, and we have harmful traditional practice. You find out that there's this like villages that they practice this some fetish, or how are they calling it, like they will tell you that you have to marry at a young age, like 12. They will force you into marriage that you are not ready to. You are not ready mentally, physically, and or you are not just ready. They will tell you that you must go into marriages like that. And we have social economic violence as well, where they will stop you from enjoying things you are supposed to enjoy, like the social, economic. We have cultural and political rights, where especially women, they stop them, that because they are women they will not allow them to engage, to participate in such thing. So those are just few of the types of sexual violence we have. I talked about emotional, physical, and traditional practice, and social economic. So that's what I think from.
Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful one. Miss Andrea, can you tell us the main causes of gender-based violence?
Well, gender-based violence is deeply rooted in discriminatory cultural belief and attitudes that perpetuate inequality and powerlessness, in particular of women and girls. Well, poverty and lack of education and livelihood opportunities. Like we say, gender-based violence, most of the causes are physical factors, lack of physical security. When we are talking about the security aspect, let me give an example with our country. We keep emphasizing about this security. As a lady, you might be walking in the street late hours, coming back from work or school, and somebody might harass you. If for instance now we have security, before you even go home, or for you to even feel emotionally down, securities will be there to help you. So that's why we are talking about the physical factors and the social, cultural, political factors as well. Most of us have been harassed in one way or the other, but we don't have the courage to go out there and say it because of lack of courage, and mostly our laws are not doing anything about it. So that's my understanding.
Thank you very much. We all know that there are consequences for gender-based violence, but I would like Ms. Ruth to tell us more about the consequences that occurs in gender-based violence.
Okay. Gender-based violence can have serious, long-term, and life-threatening. Being a victim of gender-based violence can lead to a victim of gender-based violence can be led to kill him or herself, because you will not want anybody, you walking on the street, someone will be pointing hands on you that this person, this was what happened, this is what happened to that person. And most of them, they are always scared of voicing out because they were threatened by the individual that did that to them. And most of them, their families do reject them because they won't want any shame or disgrace. So they will send them away, and it can lead to suicide, because you can kill yourself because no one is by your side and no one is there to encourage you that all will be fine and you should do what is right to avoid all those things.
Okay, Miss Ruth, I think depression is also one of the consequences that.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm right about that. Okay, thank you very much. Miss Lois, tell us about the primary victims and survivors.
Alright, talking about the primary victims and survivors, gender-based violence, it affects both the male and female. But even though it's more rare with the female, the girl child is more rare with them, the female faces that much more, and they are being exposed to rape and other forms of violence. So there are many ways that we could help the survivors and see. So please, we cannot imagine the lot of trauma they will go through during that. So people face a lot of trauma, so they need support. Like she said, she need us to, we all need to support them and stand by them, make them feel we show concern to them, show them that love they need. And talking about more of it, that you should all learn how to respect their choices. Yeah, you should give them, respect what they say, make sure you give them time to talk, to explain their pain, to share it out. Keep the survivor story details and respect it, and please keep it confidential. Don't share unless it concerns them, and please make sure they should talk more for their pain. And one thing to say is make the safety of the survivor the number one priority. So make sure you support them, and make sure you grant them that safety they will all need.
Thank you very much for that wonderful one. In conclusion, the state has primary responsibility for preventing and responding to gender-based violence. This include taking all necessary legislative, administrative, and judicial and other measures to prevent, investigate, and punish acts of gender-based violence. They need to take criminals or acts of gender-based violence and assure that national laws and practice respect and protect human rights. Pursue and punish those responsible and provide adequate protection, care, and support to the victims. Take actions to empower women and strengthen their personal, legal, social, and economic independence. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, viewer. This is Rock TV Plateau State Polytechnic, Jos Campus, the station that neutralizes young talent, coming to you direct from Plateau State Polytechnic, Jos. My name is Mary Solomon Adeshina, your humble anchor for today, being 28 April 2022. With me here are wonderful personalities, which are
good afternoon, listeners. My name is Yakubu Job Dakuma.
Faith Abode.
My name is Garu Thomas Peter. And Samson James Daniel.
Okay, we will be discussing on academic performance of students in school. So, Mr. Job, what do you think, or what can you say about contributing to our academic performance today in school?
Okay, well, basically, teachers play a vital role towards the academic performance of students.
Okay.
So, however, they notice that the performance, target and completion of syllabus of the student, while paying attention to the weak students and assisting them with assignment, it actually contributes a lot in terms of academic performance of the students.
Well, thank you very much. So, Mr. James, what contribution or what can you contribute to what he has said so far? About maybe what school contributes to academic performance?
Okay. According to addition to the contribution, you have number one, lack of chairs. You have lack of or scarcity of the classrooms. You have lack of more employment or equipment in the studio. You have issues of blackboard. You have issues of library. However, they notice that the performance target completion of syllabus are paying attention. The weak student in terms of assignment and thesis.
Thank you very much. Mr. James, what would you like to say about gender equality in Polytechnic in terms of academic performance?
Well, gender equality involves men, women, and even children. Because in the past, women are not allowed to do certain things in the campus. But as you can see now, activities involving women is now getting momentum in the campus. So I think women are involved. Even the association and whatever, even the rector in our in our school can be women. So I think gender equality is improving.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, Ms. Faith, is there, come to talk about learning techniques or learning skills. Is there learning skills in school academic today?
Yes, there are.
Okay, if there are, so what are they?
We have different learning skills in our schools, in the Polytechnic. We have the radio station, ICT, engineering department, where there are different equipment, different things where students use to learn and improve, get the practical aspect of what they are being taught in the class. They go there to practice more about what they are being taught in their lecture classes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Job, what would you have to say about home environment in terms of student academic performance?
Talking about home environment, about the student academic performance, you see, basically when you have to look at the environment, it matters a lot. Comparing the environment of a good academic performance, I will make an example with an environment like Angola Kuba, Tudunwada, and some other locations. Yeah, and then comparing the distance again, you know, for a good academic performance, the students wouldn't like to travel all the way from a far distance down to the school. Before he gets to the school, definitely that student will either be hungry, tired, there will be a lot of stress, you understand, and that will affect him in his academic performance.
Okay, thank you very much. So maybe to add up to his contribution, what you're trying to say here is that in a level of distance, or trying to compare the distance from the school, where the school is located at, and whereby the student's residence is, this distance of coming all the way to the school can eventually affect the students academically by maybe, would I say, eventually maybe traffic, or rather walking all through down. Yeah, that can actually affect students academically. Right. So, Mr. James, what advice do you have to our viewers towards study habits in terms of academic performance?
Study habit has to do with the environment too.
Yeah.
Because with a good environment, a student will not be abused. I will use this word, abused.
Yeah.
While he may be into other things that are not good to the society.
Okay.
So I think if there is an enabling environment for students, I think that will not be.
Thank you very much. So in contribution to all of this and in conclusion, the habits in terms of maybe let's say towards study habits in terms of academic performance, I feel that, okay, my advice goes to the viewers out there here is that students should learn on how to maybe enforce the method or a way of wanting to read ahead of exam. It shouldn't be that it's when it's actually like during exam period that you would want to now take off your books and be like, okay, they want to read at that moment. I bet you it won't really stick. You understand? It won't really stick. So thank you very much. Here we come to the end of the program today. Hope you were educated by this wonderful discussion from our guests. And if you are out there watching the program, do me a favor and work on your academic performance in school and try to study hard for the society. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Hello and welcome to the midday show on Rock TV. My name is Kaneng Johanna. With me in the studio is
Hawa Yakubu Ali,
Jerry Emmanuel Jang,
Peace Philip,
Francis Samuel Jik.
All right. Today we're going to be talking about the culture of reading with regards to students. The World Book Day was marked on the 3rd of March 2022. It was a day set aside by the United Nations Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, and it is being marked in 100 nations all over the world. There is a need for us to pay attention to the unfortunate circumstances surrounding this topic. Statistics showed that in 2018, out of about 1.5 million candidates that sat for WAEC, over 100,000 results were withheld over exam malpractice. In 2019, out of a little over 1.5 million candidates, 180,000 results were seized. In 2020, it was 215,000 results, and this is becoming a big problem in the society because the numbers are increasing rapidly. It has become a great worry, hence the need to address this situation. I'd like to start by asking my guests, who are students in their own rights, who wear the shoe of what we are talking about. Sir, Mr. Jerry Emmanuel, what to you is the culture of reading?
Well, first of all, I have to say reading culture forms the foundation on which people are educated in a way of life, or the course in which a student is reading Also, you could also say reading culture is a habit that as a human being or a student, you must adopt this as a character to move forward or to progress in life.
Okay, Miss Peace Phillips, would you like to say something about that?
Reading culture is an environment where reading is championed, valued, respected, and actively encouraged. As a student, we need to read our books constantly, and we need to research for more information. As it is, we need information because the source of an information is a source for us all as a student. And so I would like to say that reading is it should be a habit for us, or not only for students actually, but for everyone in the country at large.
All right, thank you very much. So we go to our next question, which is, why is cultivating a reading culture important? Why is reading important? You know, many times when we talk about reading, it sounds like something uninteresting, something stressful, you know, something that people would rather avoid. So I'd like Mr. Jerry Emmanuel, would you like to tell us why is cultivating a reading culture important to you?
Well, first of all, if you don't read, you don't expect to learn, or you don't expect to keep what you've learnt in your memories. First of all, you read to acquire knowledge, not just for either an exam or a test as a student. Second, time changes. Time changes in life, and there are more things to be learned. So if you're not reading, you will be left behind.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
Beautiful. Miss Hawa Yakubu, what would you say about why reading is important to you?
It is important for we students to read not only when we have exams. We read for us to refresh our brain and to also know what is going on in the country. So I think that is.
Thank you very much. So, having established with the facts that have been stated, the increasing unfortunate rise in exam malpractice, we can say clearly that there is a poor reading culture in this part of the world. And so can we talk about why? You know, what are the factors? As students, you have personal experiences, you may have witnessed certain things happening to people around you, your fellow students. So what are the factors that distract students? What are the factors that deter students from cultivating the culture of reading? Yeah, Mr. Francis.
Yes, today actually there are so many students that have become reluctant in reading due to so many factors, and we can see some of these factors. One of it can be mentioned as maybe they might have low esteem, and there are many students today that their low esteem will not allow them do what they are supposed to do. Another factor is that they are not as in they are reading, they are not able to read because they feel their peer groups as they are inadequate to work together with their peer groups. And I can mention another one as maybe as
Okay, moving further, Miss Peace, would you like to tell us from your experience or some of the things you have witnessed, why do you think students get distracted? What hinders us from cultivating a culture of reading?
Some students actually, some are their pressure group, some are their friends. They go after friends, and then you'll find themselves not reading their books when it's supposed to be. And then maybe when they come to the classroom about to write a test or so, and then they'll find themselves peeping their books or checking their phones to browsing, just to be able to meet up to that test, because they were not able to read their books.
So, Mr. Francis, we've had instances where students say they are coming from the backgrounds that affect very poor backgrounds, and so they have to hustle for themselves. Do you think that that could actually distract someone from reading?
Actually, so for someone like me, I too much like hustling. So because of this hustling, it makes me not able to read at the right time. So with that, I will say that hustling also makes students not to be able to read.
Okay, so Miss Hawa, there are people who have given excuses with regards to the relationships they found themselves in as a reason why they are distracted from reading, students having issues. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, like for example, heartbroken, a lady can stop herself from reading her books. Like for example, she's dating and it comes to break up. So we ladies, we have this feeling, this emotion that she will not have time to read her books. She will be thinking about the guy. So
okay, so Mr. Jerry, what about the environment? Does it affect one's ability to read?
Yes, very well. First of all, when you want to read as a student, you don't go and sit down in a noisy environment or in an environment that will cause distraction to you. So you have to pick a quiet, comfortable environment for you to read and focus.
Okay, so we've established that the internet can be a distraction, peer groups can be a distraction, hustles sometimes can be a distraction. We have focus issues and self-esteem and all of that. And so I would like to ask you very quickly in a few seconds, how can we tackle the challenge of poor reading culture in the society?
Challenge of poor reading?
Yes. We can establish book clubs. We can challenge ourselves to do more. The government can actually organize competitions, and attach it with good prizes. It will spur the people to rise to the occasion. I would like to take this time to say thank you very much for coming out and joining us on this show. We really appreciate all your contributions on the show so far. That is going to be a wrap. Thank you very much.
Good morning, viewers. You're welcome to Rock TV. The station that nourishes the young ones. My name is Jacinta Godwin Jurit, and we are on the program Child Abuse. What is child abuse? Child abuse can be defined as a violent or taking a right from a child. When a child is young and the elder ones are trying to take its right, that is child abuse. And what are the causes of child abuse? Number 1, we have alcohol. Number 2, we have mental case. Number 3, we have bad parenting. When a child is being abused, most of the times, alcohol causes it. When the child is under the influence of alcohol, or the parents abused him on alcohol. We also have lack parental skills. When a child is young and the parent tries to abuse him, the parents don't have the right to abuse a child because of his bad skills of parenting. What are those tips to help child abuse? Number 1, we have response to urgency. Response to urgency simply means when a child is being abused and you're around the vicinity, you just have to respond quickly to the child. We should never stop talking about it whenever we see a situation of a child abuse. Okay, what are the types of child abuse? We have physical abuse, sexual abuse, and emotional abuse. Physical abuse, that means punching the child when he's wrong. You just hit the child without listening to the child's explanation. How to stop child abuse? Spreading of knowledge. We have to spread knowledge about the child's abuse. When people around us should know the effects of child abuse. Discipline your child. When your child is wrong, you should try to call your child in order and discipline him. What are the signs of child abuse? Number 1, frequent bruises. When you see a child always having bruises around him, you try to call the child and ask the child, what is this all over your body? It could be someone abusing your child. Have a story. When a child doesn't know how to explain how he got bruises, you should question a child and give it a thought too. Not wanting to go home. Sometimes we see our kids, when they are close from school or they are done from work, they tend not to go back to school, not to go back home. That is a sign to show you that the child is being abused, and you should always question your child. Sometimes anger, fear. When a child is always quick to anger, you should also question the child. And that is it on child abuse. Hope you enjoy my program. Goodbye and remain blessed.